Silver City, America's #1 theme park. I've heard it's amazing. I've heard they have amazing rides, amazing food, the amazing atmosphere of the 1880s mining town on top of it. When I think of food, I'm really thinking of like the cinnamon bread. Have you all seen the cinnamon bread? Ooh, now I want some cinnamon bread. But hopefully, I'll try to make it up there, because coming to the park in 2027 is Miners Mountain Express. That feels like an ad. This is not an ad. I'm just gonna call Miners Mountain Express MMX, because Miners Mountain Express is kind of a mouthful. Okay, so MMX is going to be a Mac Family Youngstar coaster. If you never heard of a Mac Youngstar before, I wouldn't blame you. Or you've seen a Mac Youngstar coaster before, but I don't think you would know it's a Mac Youngstar, because why would you? But when I think of Mac rides, I don't even think of one of these two coasters I'm about to say. I think of like things like Ride of Happiness or Bakunawa, or also at Silver City, Time Traveler. Just realized these are all Mac Extreme spinning coasters. Anyways, I specifically know 2 Mac Youngstars, and knowing these two, I wouldn't blame you if you're not excited for this ride. These Mac Youngstars include Flight of the Hippogriff and Cretaceous Coaster. These coasters just have a great reputation in the roller coaster enthusiast community. But I promise you, MMX is nothing like that. And to be honest, it's like harmful to call MMX a Mac Youngstar. MMX is going to have a whole 3 minutes and 15 seconds of ride time. And I don't think that's even like close to Flight of the Hippogriff. There's going to be 2 lift hills and a tunnel throughout the layout. The first lift hill is going to be about 97 feet tall. Second lift hill is going to be 69.5 feet tall. This ride also will have track that stretches to about half a mile, if not more. And that's going to be the longest in the park, the longest track length in the park. And just listening to the name Miners Mountain Express, I bet you're kind of guessing that it's going to be a mine train type sort of ride. And yes, I do understand that Silver City already has a mine train, but if you didn't know before now, I'm sorry to tell you, but Thunderation, which is an aero mine train, will be closing permanently on January 2nd, 2027. If you do not know what an aero mine train is, it is like Trailblazer at Hershey Park, if you know what that is. MMX will be the replacement of Thunderation, but it's not going to be on the same plot of land, I am pretty sure, because I am like 55.2% sure they already have done hard hat tours, and from my thoughts, it has not passed January 2nd, 2027. So yeah, you might be yelling at your screen that, okay, MMX is gonna be this long mine train ride. Yeah, cool. But what is really cool is the story behind the ride, because of what Silver City was before it was Silver City. If you didn't know, Silver City was was a mining corporation called Marble Mining Co. Real creative. The Marble Cave, which is located inside the park, which you can have a tour through, if you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about, was a real cave that this mining co. used. The cave actually used to be called Marble Cave, because Marble Cave, well, because the limestone walls were mistaken for marble. Great job again there, guys. Of course, at some point, the corporation closed their doors for good, and in 1989, mining expert William H. Lynch, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, purchased the cave and the surrounding land with his daughters, opened it to public tours in 1894, and of course, you know the rest, with the tourist destination becoming bigger and bigger until in 1960, it turned into and/or opened as Silver Dollar City. So that's basically kind of where they got the idea for the ride and like the history of the ride. Of course, we do not know a lot about this ride so far, about what the storyline is going to be and stuff, other than that it is based off of this old mining corporation that used to be held where the park stands today, back in the 1800s. A lot of enthusiasts, well, what some, and I mean some enthusiasts are mad about with this ride, which I've seen a little bit, and they are mad it's not a thrill coaster, but a family one, like it happens with every single coaster that's not a thrill. Why do enthusiasts do this every single time? But let me explain to you why this is just a great addition to the park. Okay, so Silver Dollar City has, 4 high thrill coasters, but it only has 2 family ones, which are Fire in the Hole, the 2024 ride, not the one that it is staying but not operating from 1972. Just want to get that out. And then Grand Expedition Coaster. I don't think I said that one. Hold up. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that. GEC, I'll say. Which is basically just a kiddie coaster, but for some reason it's categorized as a family Zamperla. I don't know why. But from just this rundown, if you know nothing about the park, other than these 2 coasters, and knowing there are 4 high thrill coasters, or just thrill coasters in the park, minus Thunderation, of course, you would know the park needs more family coasters. Now, the park also released a explanation to why they chose this as what they wanted to add to the park, and I would say it's much better explanation than mine. They conducted a sort of park survey study type thing for families, and that's what their favorite attractions were. The ones they chose were things like Fire in the Hole 2024, Flooded Mine, and like the Frisco Steam Train, stuff like that. Something they all have in common is that they're all things that the whole family can enjoy and do. Not something just for the little kids, not something just for the older kids or thrill seekers, but for those 2 mixed together. This coaster also wasn't supposed to be like kids' first coaster ride, as they already had that with GEC, Grand Expedition. Yeah, Grand Expedition Coaster. But as a kid's first big coaster ride. So, kind of like, for example, at like Busch Gardens, the kids' first ride is going to be Grover's Alpine Express, but first big ride would be something like Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, or like The Bolton, Forbidden Town. Now, I'm just going to throw some information at you that I've collected throughout my study of this coaster and what we know about it, as it was just released like a few days ago. I'm just gonna hope this all connects together in some way. The coaster is going to be in a old sinkhole that the park has, and the pathway it'll sit on, which I believe is called Daredevil Pass, is going to be in between Wildfire and Power Keg, and this pathway didn't exist before the ride concept was put out, or it could exist before the ride concept, but it helps be able to have it added in. But don't worry, this coaster will still follow the same guidelines with using the terrain as the rest of the park. The head frame, which you've probably seen by now, because I hopefully have put it up in background. If I haven't, I'm showing you it right now. Was bought from Doe Run Mining Company, which was actually unflooding a flooded mine before they bought it. Funny, right? You get it? Yeah, okay. But I learned a little bit of connection from Doe Mining Company to the ride is that they created a school called Missouri Mining School, which I believe is still open under like Missouri School for Technology and Sciences or something like that. I'll have it up on the screen if I can find it. They created this school to get talent to come to Missouri because they needed talent. And that school actually held a founding member of Marble Mining Co., which I thought was kind of interesting and kind of ties back to the story. And something I forgot to add was that we also know the ride is going to have two mascots, a skunk and I'm pretty sure a bat. So after queue at one point, you're going to get sprayed by a skunk, which I don't know how that's going to be like. I'm imagining something like the pre-show for the Minions ride at Universal when you get sprayed by the fart gun. Pretty sure it's a fart gun. And then the bats are going to be in that tunnel you go through throughout the course, which I thought that was kind of interesting, and hopefully that'll be cool. But yeah, at the end of the day, Silver City might be entering a new golden era with this ride. Saying goodbye to a classic like Foundation is kind of tough, but the scale of how Miners Mountain Express is going to be in the new Daredevil Pass might be leading up to some of the biggest years in the park's history for the park, for things being added to the park, to people going to the park's reputation, to the park's popularity. And I love how Silver Dollar City knows exactly how to expect this pass while building the stepping blocks to the future. So let me know if you're going to now, or if you already were planning to make a trip for 2027. Hopefully I'll make it down there for CoastCon. I'm gonna be a little bit cringy for a second by saying smash that like button, and if you enjoyed the video, and always keep riding.